Mob Games mentioned that there are several Easter eggs about Chapter 3 in the first 2 chapters of Poppy Playtime, but so far, no one has noticed any, until today. And it has to do with the end of Chapter 1, when we are escaping in the vents from Huggy Wuggy and heading straight to Poppy's room. This theory was actually made by Terrico, but in this video, we're going to complement it much more. So if you haven't seen Terrico's video, I recommend checking it out first and then complementing it with this one. Until now, it is speculated that the smiling critters were the ones who wrote these colored texts in the vents, because if the last survivors of the factory wrote this, why would they have used all these colors if they were worried about their lives? Well, the answer is that the smiling critters themselves wrote this, especially Crafty Corn, who likes creativity, drawings, crayons, and paintings. But something that wasn't analyzed and is actually very surprising is the messages in this ventilation, which makes me 100% sure that Poppy is actually the villain of this story, and both Catnap and the other monsters are not really the villains. If we look at the text, we can realize that A, they were indeed wrote by the smiling critters, and B, Poppy's actually manipulating us for an evil plan that we still don't know. First, we have warning messages to leave the factory. Simple words like no, danger, go back, bad, stop. But in the second writings, the smiling critters start to give us more clues about Poppy's true plans. Stay away from her, she can't be trusted, you're going to die. And finally, we have things that confirm that it was the smiling critters. I'm so hungry, which was obviously from Picky Piggy, and this is not my body, referring to the fact that one or several monsters had to be the ones who wrote this. But the third writings are the ones that impact us the most, and we confirm once again that it was the smiling critters who wrote this. We have the text, "The prototype has saved us." Apart from that, we have the text, "Don't let her out, leave her to die, Elliot," and finally we have 2 other texts that leave us a little confused. "She's on their side," and "she wouldn't kill." These 2 texts can mean 2 different things. The first confirms that whoever is inside Poppy was actually someone from the Playtime Co. staff. If we remember, both the prototype and all the innocent people they put inside the monsters want revenge for everything the Playtime staff did to them. This would explain the hatred they have for Poppy. But the other meaning has to do with Kissy Missy. If you remember, she is the only monster who has tried to help us throughout this journey. And now, with the trailer for Chapter 3, we see that she and Poppy are allies. This text of "she's on their side and she won't kill" may refer to Kissy Missy, referring to the fact that she agrees with everything the Playtime people did. But at the same time, she won't do anything to annihilate us like the other monsters. And now that we're talking about the monsters, one of the things I thought about was that they actually want to stop us from helping Poppy in her revenge, or the evil plan she's about to execute. If the monsters were the bad guys, I think they would have at least destroyed each other, or found a way to get out of the factory and cause some kind of chaos. But on the contrary, these monsters only attacked us when we started getting close to Poppy and helping her. This can also be confirmed by the attitudes of the prototype 1006, because when he was with the staff, this prototype could be very violent, but on the other hand, with the orphans, he always wanted to help them and also became their friend. And one of the doubts that arose regarding this theory was about Mommy Long Legs. In this theory, it is assumed that everyone wants to stop Poppy, and the monsters are also against us. So, why did Mommy Longlegs kill Bonzo Boney and the Huggy Wuggas? This action by Mommy Longlegs could seem contradictory to this theory, but knowing Mommy's personality, she actually got rid of Bonzo Boney and the Huggy Wuggas because they couldn't stop us and let us help Poppy even more. With that personality, it was obvious that she wouldn't forgive them, and she would also get rid of these monsters that were now not so useful to her. But why did Kissy Missy become an ally of Poppy? Why is she the only monster who seems to want to help her? Is it her plan to stay close and then take revenge? You know, the typical phrase, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Well, I don't really think so. If we remember Kissy's story, she was actually designed to take orders. And now Poppy is the one giving her orders to get help. And this could further confirm that someone from the Playtime Co. staff is inside Poppy. It had to be someone who was involved in the experiments, and with this knowledge, she can now know how to make Missy obey. Possibly this is why Poppy knew the code to activate the train. And now we only have one thing left to solve. In fact, friends, I'm going to need your help so we can solve this mystery. If we remember, almost at the end of chapter 2, we have the part where we defeat Mommy Longlegs. And just before we finish her, she mentions,
"What have you done? You make me part of him! You can't do this to me!"
But why did she say this? Definitely what she meant by saying, "You'll make me part of it," refers to whatever Catnap and the prototype are building, as we saw in chapter 3 trailer. But why does she feel that hatred or fear of becoming part of it? Why does the way she says it sounds like she really doesn't want to be there at all? Is it possible that Mommy Longlegs had her own team inside the factory? Or did the prototype let everyone know that if they died, he would reuse their bodies to create something big? Maybe this thing that they are building is to defeat Poppy or simply destroy the factory. I don't know, friends. What do you think? Do you really think Poppy is the villain of the game? And what do you think is the true meaning of the text we have in the vents? See you in the comments.
Sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I was just trying to get the power back on.
Did you kill her? Good. I'll board the train.